This is Eye on the Community, and I'm your host, Sean Anthony. Joining me next is someone who is no stranger to Eye on the Community, but we're going to talk about home buying, and it's a very, very tricky market right now, especially for first-time home buyers, given the current sellers market. So we've got the Homeport Senior Housing Advisor, Mr. Layden Hale, joining us. Layden, welcome back to Eye on the Community. How are you?
Fine, Sean. Thank you for having me too.
It's my pleasure. So let everybody know a little bit about yourself briefly, your career, and how long you've been with Homeport, teaching classes and providing one-on-one counseling.
Okay, Sean. I've been with Homeport now for 15 years, senior housing advisor, doing counseling for them. I've been in counseling now for a total of about 22 years. And then before that, I was in banking for about 15 years. So all in all, I've had my career's basically been in finance and basic banking and counseling.
Gotcha. Now, I was told that Homeport is celebrating 35 years now. How would you describe the organization Homeport?
Okay. Homeport is a nonprofit housing organization. And like you said, we've been around now for 35 years. Our mission is to provide safe and affordable housing to our communities. And so we're a small developer. So we build houses and apartment complexes for people to live in. And we've been doing that for a while. We've got a lot of projects that are out there right now. Anybody who goes to New Salem Church, we've got a new facility that was right across the street from New Salem. And we do senior facilities as well. But as well as not only that, we also do educational courses. We do financial literacy. We do home buyer education to provide, teach people how to purchase homes. And we also do one-on-one credit budget counseling sessions to help people improve in their credit. So we do a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I understand you got a popular video too now where you're just pouring out lots of information and counseling folks. What would you say, Layden, right now, the current situation for home buyers?
Well, Sean, it's a tough market out there right now. I mean, they say it is a seller's market. And what they mean there is there are more buyers out there looking for homes than there are homes to purchase. So that makes it very competitive. The sellers are kind of calling the shots right now. So with more buyers being out there than houses, it's the prices are really going up. And so traditionally, if you bought a house maybe 4 or 5 years ago, you could kind of really negotiate. The buyer and the seller could kind of sit down and negotiate a good price and everything like that. Now it's not much that's not really happening. The sellers are kind of calling the shots and saying, I want this amount. I've even got some of my clients who are saying they're paying over the asking price. So, it's a tough market out there.
So yeah, I've heard that the price of homes have gone up 15% in Central Ohio over the past year. How do you think we got to this point?
It started probably 2-3 years ago. COVID hit and then it messed up everything. COVID really threw us for a loop. When COVID hit, people started losing their jobs, income went down. But also when COVID hit, there were fewer houses, or I should say, fewer affordable houses were being built when COVID hit. So that slowed down the housing market. That started it. Then, during that same period of time, we get a slowdown in the supply chain. Things started slowing down. We started hearing about that supply chain slowdown. So we got that going. So that caused prices to start going up. We started seeing building materials starting to go up. They were talking about wood and everything like that.
I remember wood going up. Yeah.
Yeah. So that hit us. Well, along the same time that hits us, then we start talking about inflation. They start talking about this inflation stuff. Oh, inflation's going up. We were lucky. Inflation was low for the last 10 years. We were talking 3% inflation. And then all of a sudden we got up to 5.5% inflation. And then it went up even higher. Now they're talking about 8.5% inflation. So that hits us. And then put the icing on the cake. starting in January this year, the Fed started raising interest rates. So the interest rates started going up. So that forced, when the interest rates started going up, that's forced a lot more people who are on the sidelines thinking about what am I going to buy or not. They put them into the market. So all these people in the market now looking for houses before the interest rates go up even more, and they're moving toward it, which all those people in there make the prices go up even more.
So would you say it's harder, if not impossible, for people to find their dream homes, especially, first time homeowners, since everything has risen 15% over the year?
Yeah, and it's harder, yes. Rising prices on the houses, rising interest rates. What that means is how I can't afford as much house as I used to, because as the interest rates go up, that means I can't afford. My mortgage payment is going to go up, and that means I can't afford that house. And then on top of that, the prices are going up. It's forcing a lot of people out of the market. But one of the things, I kind of work with my clients on, if they still want to stay in the market, we just got to tweak some things. Maybe the house that you wanted before, maybe we got to, kind of ratchet it back a little bit. But you can still stay in the market as long as you stay focused on your goals.
What would you say, Layden, is the median sales price for a home in Central Ohio right now?
Okay, like you said, prices on average have gone up about 15% over the last year. So the median price right now is about $260,000. Now you got to think about that. That's over $250,000. That's a lot, and that's the median price. 15% is prices are going up on average about 15%, but there are some markets out there that the prices have gone up even more than that.
Right.
So just imagine, that's just the average is 15%. So it could be 260 or above. And there's some people who are buying houses now paying over $300,000 for a house. And that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. What would you say is the home inventory right now?
It's low. It's low. They're building, and so the builders are starting to try to catch up. But that inventory is low because there are some people where usually they would get out and this is the time of year they would be selling their houses and stuff like that. A lot more people are holding on to their houses because of the uncertainty. So and so there's not as many houses out there. They are starting to try to build, but even for builders now, it's hard to build an affordable house now. If you want to get a starter house, you used to be able to get a starter house for about $150,000, $125,000, $150,000. Well, those houses aren't out there anymore. You know what I mean? So in order to build a starter house, it's going to cost them about the same amount of money as if you build a $400,000 house. So most people, the builders, in order to make money, they're going to build those $400,000 houses. So fewer people are building those affordable houses. Now, Homeport's doing it, but they're doing it because that's our mission. And we are also getting some credits and things like that to do it. But the average, it's hard to do. But just because it's hard does not mean we can't do it. We need to do it. One of the things I heard just last week, the HUD secretary was in town, and they was talking about, I think about $10.3 billion that the federal government is pouring into affordable housing. And believe me, Sean, that's needed. So that money is going to be filtered down into the country, but a lot of it's going to come to Central Ohio. And Homeport's going to put a bid in for it to try to build more houses as well as other people, because the affordable housing is really needed.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of talk about affordable housing in the media lately, especially locally media. A lot of organizations are doing things to increase, I guess, affordable housing. Layden, are you seeing a panic by those calling Homeport and its housing advisory services?
Yeah, and there's panic in my clients, the ones I'm currently working with, and again, that panic comes in because interest rates started going up. People are used to those low interest rates. Last summer, we were talking about a 3% interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, it's at 5.5%. The mortgage rates are averaging about 5.5%. And it's scheduled to go up. They're talking about another increase in June and July, and then maybe even again in September. We could, wow. It's mortgage rates are about 5.5% right now on average. And we're talking, it could be, well, I don't want to say what, but it can go a lot higher.
So this is definitely not a good time to refinance if you're a homeowner.
You know what? For most homeowners, I
don't mean to cut you off. If you have a decent interest rate right now, it's probably not a good idea. That's how I should have framed my question for you. Mm-hmm. If you got a good interest rate, this is probably not a good time to refinance?
No, because the thing is, if you refinance now, you're probably going to go to a higher interest rate.
Right.
That boat for refinancing has probably sailed. But if you're looking at refinancing, the one thing I would say is shop around and ask those questions, and also ask the question, am I refinancing to get a better rate, or am I refinancing to try to take money out? If it may be a little different depending on what my goal is. Mm-hmm. So, but you're right. The best thing to do right now is shop around and ask questions before you commit to going with one lender or another.
So what would you say are some of the options for home-hungry consumers at a time, of rising housing prices, inflation, and interest rates?
There's 6 things. I gave my clients 6 tips to look at if you want to stay in this market right now. And number 1 is, if you want to stay in this market, make sure you have an experienced real estate agent that's working with you. An experienced real estate agent is going to help you navigate this market and get to the best buys out there. That's number 1. Number 2, come to the table with a fully underwritten pre-approval. Now, there's a difference between a pre-qualification and pre-approval. If you're working with a loan officer right now and they say, okay, Sean, I got you pre-qualified for this, ask the question, has my file gone through an underwriter? Has an underwriter looked at it? And the reason that's important, once you get into this market and you get into a contract, things go really fast. And so you don't want to find out that once the underwriter looks at it, there's some things that they may not consider. Like maybe I'm working a part-time job that I've been on for a year. Well, some underwriters want to see, before they consider that income, they may want to see you on that part-time job for 2 years. So the loan officer considered that income and pre-qualified you for it, but the underwriter may not. You don't want any obstacles. You don't want any surprises once you go into contract, because I've given you $500 to $1,000 in earnest money. So I want to make sure that this is successful. So make sure it's pre-approved through the underwriter. Number 3, be flexible and discuss compromises. This is a seller's market, and so you got to be, know what you need to have in your home, and know what things you can, you just make yourself comfortable with. Yeah. Because right now, I don't have that many choices. There's not 10 houses out there for me to choose from. Right. There's 10 buyers for every house. So be flexible. Number 4, don't play hard to get. This is not the time where this is a seller's market where they're driving the car. Right. So you can't go out there and play hardball with them because you're not going to get the bid.
Unless you're a multi-millionaire and you can, flex on somebody.
Well, but you know what though? The good thing about that though is that one of the things that they're hitting, and I didn't mention it earlier, they got so many doggone investors out in this market right now that are paying cash.
Oh,
okay. And that's messing up. That's really competing with my buyers, my first-time home buyers. So they're out there and they got cash money. So, but number 4, don't play hard to get. Number 5, this is important. Don't overpay for your house. And when I'm talking about that, people are out there right now paying $10,000, $15,000 over asking price. Don't get into that bidding war and you try so hard to get this house that you overbid, and so now you're paying more for the house than you really can afford.
Right.
It only takes one bad thing and you're gonna be underwater. Mm-hmm. And number 6, be willing to wait. You might not get your first bid. You might be out there bidding on 5 or 6 or 10 houses before you get a bid in. So be willing to wait. If you do those 6 things, you can probably stay in this market and ride it out, because believe it or not, it's starting to cool off a little.
Yeah. Well, Layden, I can talk to you for lots longer about this very interesting subject, man. But how can people reach out to you or get more information from Homeport?
Okay, thank you, Sean. They can go to our website. Our website is homeportlearning.org. Homeportlearning.org. Or they can call us at 614-545-4895, and they can sign up for one of our free classes.
Excellent. He is the senior housing advisor for Homeport, Mr. Layden Hale. Layden, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing this information today.
And thank you for having me here.
My pleasure. You take care, sir.
Okay. Bye-bye.